This is a walkthrough for this GCSE maths paper. It is AQA at higher level. Paper 2, which is a calculator paper, and yes, from June 2024. So I'll put a link to this paper in the comments so you can download it, have a go at the question, and then maybe look at how I answer the question. The diagram shows a circle, centre 0 and 3 straight lines. Use one word to describe each shaded region. Okay, so the first one is referring to an arc. An arc is part of the circumference. Chord. This is a chord, that's a straight line there. Sector. Okay, a sector is part B. A sector is part of a circle cut off by a radius, another radius, so 2 radii. So that's a sector. A segment is an area cut off by a chord. So A is a segment because it's cut off by this chord here, by that straight line. And a tangent, well, there's not a tangent on that diagram. It's a straight line that touches the outside of a circle. Question 2. The mass of an iceberg is 2,200,000 kilograms. This value is a 12% reduction from the original mass of the iceberg. Work out the original mass of the iceberg. Give your answer in standard form. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do it by dividing by the multiplier to work out the original amount. I'm going to show you by looking at, well, the original amount was 100%. A 12% reduction means that this 2,200,000 is representing 88%. So I'm going to work out 100%, the original. I'm going to get 1% first by dividing this amount by 88. So 2,200,000 divided by 88 is 25,000. That's 1%. I'm going to times it by 100 to get 100%. So 2,500,000 in standard form. So in standard form, the first number needs to be between 1 and 10, so 2.5 times 10 to the power of the 0.5 was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 10 to the power 6. A chef has a ton of blueberries. She wants to use all the blueberries, put the same number of blueberries on each dessert. D is the number of desserts, B is the number of blueberries. So can you see that they are in inverse proportion, a relationship that's in inverse proportion? What does the constant K represent? So if D is the number of desserts, K has got to be the number of blueberries in the tub, because B is the number of blueberries on each dessert. So the number of blueberries in the tub divided by the number of blueberries in each dessert would give you the number of desserts. Complete the table. So I'm going to work out what K is, i.e. the number of blueberries in the tub, from this these values here. So when D is 120, B is 2, times both sides by 2 gives you K is 240. 240 blueberries in the tub. So what is D when B is 6? So D is equal to K over B. We know K is 240. 240 divided by 6 is 40. So this time I know D. I also know K. K stays the same, the number of blueberries in the tub. Divide by B. Well, let's make B the subject by multiplying both sides by B. Dividing both sides by 30. Divide both sides by 30. B is 8. Question 4. Fair spinner has 6 equal sections, each with the numbers 5, 6, 7 or 8. Each number appears at least once. Probability that we get an even number is exactly the same as the probability we get a 7. Work out probability we get a 5. You may use a blank spinner to help you, right? So at the moment we've got 2 even numbers, so I'm going to have to have a number 7. So now probability we get an even number is 2 out of 6, and probability that we get a even number also 2 over 6. So this would have to be, well, it has to be 5. Can't be 6 or 8, because then we'd have more even numbers, and it can't be 7 either. What's the probability of getting a 5? 2 out of 6. Question 4b. Different spinner has 10 sections, each labelled A, B, C or D. Give one reason why there must be a mistake. Let's add up all these probabilities. 0.1 plus 0.5 plus 0.2 plus 0.3 is 1.1. Okay, so it's because, well, they need to add up to 1. All the probabilities should add to 1. Here is a sketch of a graph. Complete the coordinates of C and D. C is your y-intercept. Your y-intercept here is 6. So the coordinate point is 0, 6. What about D? Well, your y coordinate here is 0. So I'm going to replace y for 0. Take 6 off both sides. Divide both sides by -2, which gives you x is 3. Here is a quadratic graph. Complete the following statement. The value of the y-intercept, where does it go through the y-axis? 5. The x-coordinate of the turning point. This is a symmetrical graph here. So between -2 and 8, there's 10 units. Divide that by 2 to get 5. There must be 5 on each side. So 8 taken away 5 is 3. Yep, that works out. So the x-coordinate here is 3. Work out 2.5 times 4 all to the power -3. Well, this is the calculator paper, so I'm just going to type it in the calculator. What you could have done is worked out this as an ordinary number. And then you could have just typed that in your calculator, or you could have thought, well, that is the same as this, and typed in your calculator. Anyway, it comes up with 6.4 times 10 to the -14. Archie flips a biased coin 200 times. Here is some information about the outcomes after each 50 flips. Work out the best estimate for the probability of flipping a head. Give a reason for your answer. Well, it's got to be this one at the end of the table. 52 out of 200. You could leave it like that. So we could have a simplified fraction or a decimal. Either would be fine. What's the reason? More trials. He's flipped the coin more times. So it'll be the best estimate. More trials. A lion is sprinting in a straight line away from its den. We've got a speed, distance, time graph here. Work out the speed of the lion. The speed equals distance over time. My time, could get this really anywhere along the line. I'm going to work out the total distance divided by the total time. You could just find your gradient anywhere along that line. You'll get the same answer. total distance, that's 30, 120, 120 taken with 30 is 90, over the time, which is 5 seconds, 90 divided by 5 is 18 metres per second. Question 9. On the Venn diagram, shade the section represented by P intersect Q. That's the overlap, everything that's in both P and Q. A bus route has 90,000 passengers last year. The number of passengers was predicted to increase by 3% this year and then by 8% next year. Is the predicted number of passengers for next year more than 100,000? So we need 90,000. An increase of 3%. Add 100% to 3%, I have 103%. As a multiplier, divide by 100 is 1.03. And then same with here, and I'm going to multiply it by, well, I'm going to increase it after that by 8%. 100% plus 8% is 108%. Divided by 100, 1.08. So 90,000 times 1.03 times 1.08. A map has a scale of 1 to 20,000. Two churches are 15 centimetres on the map. So this scale means 1 centimetre on the map is represented by 20,000 centimetres in real life. So map, real life. Two churches are 15 centimetres apart on the map. Work out the actual distance between them. So in real life, give your answer in kilometres. So 15 centimetres on the map. I need to multiply this by 15, which is 300,000. So 300,000 centimetres in real life. But I need to convert that into kilometres. So let's get it into metres first, right? 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres. 1 metre is 100 centimetres. If I divide this by 100, I will get 3,000 metres. Divide it by 1,000, gives us 3 kilometres. Circle the reason why these triangles are congruent. We've got 12, 9 and 17, 12, 9 and 17, so SSS, side, side, side. Liam takes part in long jump competitions. Here is some information about his 40 jumps. Work out an estimate for the mean. They've even told us we need to find the midpoint here. Midpoint between 7 and 7.4 is 7.2. Here it would be 7.6 and here it would be 8. So we're assuming all these 15 jumps have a length of 7.2. We want to find the mean, so we want to find the total, like all the jumps added together. So 15 times 7.2, 108. 18 times 7.6, 136.8. 7 times 8, 56. Total, $300.8. I'm going to divide it by 40 because there are 40 jumps in total. 7.52. Question 14. A graph passes through the points 3, 15 and 7W. Assume that the equation of the graph has the form y equals x squared plus c. Work out the value of w. Okay, so I'm going to use these x and y coordinates here, sub them into here to work out the value of c. So 15 is equal to 3 squared plus 3. 3 squared plus c. 3 squared is 3 times 3 is 9. Take 9 from both sides, c is 6. So we know, well, we can assume the equation of the line is y equals x squared plus 6. If I pop my x value in, y equals 7 squared plus 6. Y is 55. In fact, the graph is a straight line, right? So that must mean that the equation is not y equals x squared plus 6, because that is not a straight line, that is a curve, a quadratic graph. What does this mean about the actual value of w? It must be the same as the value in part A. Well, not necessarily, because the equation will be different. It must be different. Well, again, not necessarily. It might be a straight line through the points 315 and 755. It's impossible to tell. We need more information. Concrete from a truck is poured at 10.9 kilograms per second, 30 minutes. 1,000 kilograms is 1 ton. Is more than 20 tons of concrete poured. Okay, so 10.9 kilograms per second or 30 minutes. Let's times that by 60, which will give us 1 minute. So that's per minute. Let's times it by 30 to get per 30 minutes. Well, in 30 minutes. So this is kilograms. Let's divide it by 1,000 to get it into tons. 19.62 tons is more than, nope, more is not, and therefore working out. Question 16. Here is some information about the lengths in centimetres of leaves. Shortest length is 2.4, longest is 9, upper quartile 7, median 6, interquartile range 3. Shortest length is 2.4. It's going up in 0.2s, so 2.4 will be here. So I need a, nope, yet, what's that? Doesn't matter how long your line is as long as it's at 2.4. Longest length is 9. Upper quartile is 7. Median length is 6. Interquartile range is 3. The interquartile range, upper quartile minus lower quartile, is the interquartile range. We know the interquartile range is 3. We know the upper quartile is 7. The lower quartile must be 4. Let me just join them up around the middle. And add our little whiskers in. AB is a straight line. Both angles are given in degrees. By working out the value of x, work out the ratio of the smaller angle to the larger angle. So we know angles on a straight line add up to 180, so quarter x plus 15, add 2/3 x minus 44 is equal to 180. I'm just going to collect the like terms on the left hand side. It's a calculator paper, so I can add the fractions on my calculator. 1/4 plus 2/3 x gives you 11/12 x. Collect the numbers. 15 take away 44 is minus 29. I'm going to add 29 to both sides, which gives you 11/12 x is equal to 209. I'm going to times both sides by 12, which gives us 11x is equal to 2,508. Then divide both sides by 11, which gives you x is 228. Okay, we found x, now we need to find the size of these angles. So a quarter times 228 plus 15. So 228 divided by 4 is 57, add 15 is 72. And 2/3 x, so 2/3 of 228 minus 44. So 228 divided by 3 to get 1/3 times by 2 to get 2/3 is 152 minus 44 is 108. Or we could have just done 180 with 72, never mind. So the ratio of the smaller angle to the bigger angle is 72 to 108. You would actually get all 4 marks for that. If you want to simplify it, you could. We have a diagonal of a rectangle is 23.7 centimetres. I think it helps to draw pictures with these questions. So there's the diagonal of the rectangle. The diagonal makes an angle of 52 degrees with a side of length x centimetres. Work out the value of x. Hopefully you've spotted it is a right angle triangle here. So when you see a right angle triangle, you need to think either Pythagoras or SOHCAHTOA. We have an angle, 52 degrees, so it is SOHCAHTOA. So we need to label AO and H. This is the adjacent because it's between the right angle and the angle opposite the right angle, the hypotenuse, so it's K. K cos of an angle equals A over H. I need to make x a subject here by multiplying both sides by 23.7, which gives me x as 14.6. Show that, simplify to an integer. I need to simplify this, I'll expand the brackets first. I times everything in the bracket by 4x. 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. Right, just be careful here. Minus 2x squared times 6 is minus 12x squared. Minus 2x squared times negative 5 over x. Negative times negative is positive. So we'd have 2 times 5 is 10 x squared over x. Because it's really like having that as a fraction 2x squared over 1 and timesing that by negative 5 over x. So when you multiply fractions together, you multiply numerators and multiply the denominators. 2x squared times 5 is 10x squared, 1 times x is x. That can be simplified, but we'll do that in a minute. And here, minus 6x times 3 is minus 18x. Negative times positive is negative. 6x over 1 times 7 over x. 6x times 7 is 42x. 1 times x is x. Now, one of these x cancels with that, because x divided by x is 1. Now we've got x squared is 2 x's. X times x. That's how you need to think of it. X divided by x is 1. One of your x's cancels with this x. You're just left with 10x at the top. Now we need to simplify. 12x squared minus 12x squared disappears. 8x plus 10x is 18x. Minus 18x minus 42. What we're left with. 18x minus 18x is 0. So the integer we're left with is negative 42. Factorise. Okay, so factorise means, well, we can tell it's a double bracket, x squared and x and a number. There's a few different methods you could use. You could just work it out by kind of trial and error. I'm going to use the splitting down the middle method. You could use, or you could use the quadratic formula. I'm going to use the splitting down the middle. No, you couldn't, because quadratic formulas for solving. This is asking specifically to factorise. So a times b, so you're multiplying 8 by negative 38, which is minus 280. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to get minus 280 and add to get negative 18. What are those numbers? Thinking 28 and 10. One of them has to be negative. Minus 28 plus 10 works. So we've got 8x squared. We're going to split up the middle term into minus 28x plus 10x minus 34. Then we're going to put each side into a single bracket. Highest common factor of 8 and 28 is 4. X. And then 5. It's 2x minus 7. 4x plus 5 is the answer. X minus 9 is equal to 2 brackets 6 minus x squared all over x plus 3, and x equals d plus or minus root e over f. Work out one set of possible values for d, e and f. So I'm just going to play around with this here first to simplify it. I'm going to times both sides by x plus 3. Multiply out the single bracket. Simplify. I'm going to add 2x squared to both sides. Minus 9x plus 3x is minus 6x. I'm going to take 12 from both sides. 3 is common factor all of these numbers here. So I'm going to divide everything through by 3. Now this looks like the, in the quadratic formula. Let's just pop this into the quadratic formula. So minus b, a is 1. So this is the reason why it says work out one set of possible values. So you could have actually used a is 3, b is minus 6, and c is minus 39. If you use those values correctly, you would have had different values in your equation. So minus 2 is 2. Minus 2 squared minus 4 times a times negative 13 all over 2 times 1, which is 2. Okay, so we've got 2. If I work that out, don't forget to put your brackets around your minus 2, otherwise your calculator will work out incorrectly. So here, you could actually have D is 2, E is 56, and F is 2. Or I could simplify that more. Because if I root 56, that is the same as 2 root 14. And I could divide everything by 2, which gives me 1 plus or minus root 14 all over 1. So D could be 1, E could be 14, F could be 1. Question 21. People in a stadium are in the north stand, east stand, south stand, or west stand. Of the people in the stadium, a quarter in the north stand, 3/10 in the east stand. Number of south stand, number to west stand is 2 to 7. There are 4,480 people in the West Stand. How many people are in the stadium? Right, so 4,480 divided by 7 to work out one part, times by 2 to get 2 parts. This is 1,280. So that is people in the South Stand. Add those two up, 4,480 and 1,280. I get 5,760, which is the total in the North and the West Stand. I know we've got this fraction of people in the North and East Stands. Let's add them together. We need a common denominator, 40, times by 10, times by 4. Okay, now 22 over 40, that fraction of people in the North and East Stands. If you take that away from 1, gives us 18 40ths in the North and West Stands. 18 40ths represents 5,760. If I divide that by 18, I'll get 1/40th. One-40th is 320. I need to times that by 40 to get 40 40ths or 1 whole, which is 12,800. Question 22. Xn plus 1 is equal to 5 minus 1 over xn. Use x1 equals 1 to work out an approximate solution to this equation. Give your answer correct to 4 significant figures. Well, to find x2, we need to substitute x1 as xn. If that's xn is 1, x1 is 1, x2 is equal to the answer of that equation. Okay, you don't need a calculator for this bit really. 1 divided by 1 is 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. I'm going to start putting it into my calculator now. So x3 is 5 minus 1 divided by x2. So x3 is equal to 5 minus 1 over 4. Right, I start putting in the calculator now. If I put 5 minus 1 over 4 as a fraction using the fraction button, and I get an answer 4.75. Now every time I can just replace or redo the calculation using the answer button. So now for x4 is 5 minus 1 over 4.75. I'm just going to use the answer button on my calculator as so. 5 minus 1 over answer. X4 is 4.7894. So what you'll find is the answer will get closer and closer to the same number. It wants the answer to 4 significant figures. So let me show you with the next one. X5 is equal to 5 minus 1 over answer, which is 4.7912. So my 4 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, 4, still not the same. Let's carry on to x6. 5 minus 1 over answer, 4.79128. I can't remember what that number was after the 2 if it was round. So let me just try and find x7 as well. 5 minus 1 over answer, 4.79128. Yes. Always go to 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we only wanted 4 significant figures anyway, so that's fine. So Approximate solution is x is equal to 4.791 for significant figures 1, 2, 3, 4. Seven, 9, 1. Prove that DEF is a straight line. So using a vector method, I'm going to find DE and I'm going to find EF. So DE is equal to DC plus CE. This is the journey I'm going on. So it's 6A plus B, 2A minus 5B, which simplifies to 8A, 1B minus 5B is minus 4B. EF is equal to EC plus CF. EC, going back the wrong way through the arrow, so it will be negative 2A plus 5B plus 4A minus 6B. Simplifies to 2A minus B. So we want to show that these vectors are parallel. I'm going to factorise this one on the left hand side by taking 4 out. If I divide both of these by 4, we get 2A minus B. Now, as you can see, DE is parallel to EF because DE is a multiple of EF. So DE is parallel So to prove that DEF is a straight line, we've shown that DE and EF is parallel. So obviously any lines that are parallel must be at the same gradient. But next we need to show, how do we know that they actually form a straight line and not one's up here and one's down here? Well, as you can see, they share a point. So they DE and EF share the point E, therefore lie on a straight line. So therefore DEF is a straight line. A room is kept at a constant temperature of 21 degrees C for 6 hours. The heating is then turned off and the room begins to cool. So here we go, this is where it starts beginning to cool. Here is a sketch graph showing the temperature y degrees of the room at time x hours. Assume the equation of the curved part is y equals k over x, where k is a constant. Work out the value of y when x is 12. So we know when x is 6, y is 21. So let's pop those values in here. Solve the equation, make k the subject by times in both sides by 6, which gives us k is equal to 126. So k is always equal to 126. So work out the value of y when k is 12. So y is equal to 126 divided by 12. 10.5. In fact, the equation of the curve part is y equals a times a third a sixth to the power of 6x. But a is a different constant. How does this affect the value of y when x is 12? Tick one box. Okay, so let's see if we can work out the value of a first. Because again, we know when x is 6, y is 21. So a sixth times x, a sixth times 6 is just 1, isn't it? So we got 21 equals a times a third. Times both sides by 3. A is 63. So now we know a. So if x is 12, we want to work out the value of y. So now we've got a 6 times 12. 6 times 12, 12 divided by 6 is 2. So we've got 63 times a third to the power 2. A third squared is 1/9, because a third times a third is a ninth. And 1/9 of 63 is 7. I can't remember what it was before. That's just 10.5 here. So it's less. Now it's 7, so the value of y is less.